So we will be making banana mousse. We'll use some white chocolate, double cream, and I've got some Colac banana puree. Obviously, if you don't have that puree, you can just make your own puree. Buy some properly ripped bananas and then just mash them with a hand blender, and that's your puree. But I've got some ready-made which I'm going to use. I'll pop the callets into the microwave and warm them to get them to the liquid stage. I will always suggest not to put more than 30 seconds on of your microwave, even if your microwave is not so powerful. I use medium power, like 700 watts in mine, but not more than 30 seconds. And then you have to stir, because what happens, the microwave just heats up in spots and it can burn the chocolate if you set to like a minute or two without stirring. Now once the chocolate will be melted, I'm going to pour it into a jug along with some double cream. The double cream is very cold, and that's going to balance with the high temperature of the chocolate. And banana puree is also cold. Okay, just going to put that back. Now, when you warm up chocolate, ideally will be to do it onto a plastic jug or a bowl, not necessarily glass like I do, but I just use lots of translucent bowls made out of glass so that they can see through. But it's easier when you use plastic because the heat disperses and the bowl remains chilled and maneuverable while the content gets melted. While with glass, the glass bowl will also get warm and yeah, obviously will store that temperature. Okay, so it's starting to kind of heat up the callets. So see, just by stirring, I'm spreading that temperature inside of the bowl, and it just makes it to be more maneuverable. But I will just put it back for another 30 seconds, and hopefully that's going to be enough for what I need. By then, I'm going to pour my jug on the scale and just set it to 0. Then empty the double cream. I think I'm going to put it all. It's about 580 grams, not quite 600 grams. It's 600 milliliters, but not same quantity like volume. Okay, so those are my callets, which now look like they are melted. So what I'm going to do to make sure that my chocolate doesn't seize completely when I put my hot chocolate into the cold double cream, I'm going to pour a little bit in here just to accommodate my chocolate with the temperature. Okay, and then once it's got more liquid inside than it turns into well-known ganache. So that's a way how you can practically make a quick ganache as well. So just going to pour a little bit more. And then I'm just going to pour it into. So that's how you make your ganache. If I would want to just stop here at the stage of a ganache, I would put this into a cold place and wait till it gets chilled enough and firm enough so that I can use it as a ganache. But that's not the purpose of today's class. We want to make a quick mousse in here. So I'm going to put this in here. And again, just set this to 0. So I had 150 grams of chocolate. I've got 580 grams of double cream. And I'm going to put 150 grams of puree, banana puree. Okay. And because I've got such a high percentage of fat, I don't necessarily need to use my whisk or a blender or my hand mixer, I can just fold in everything by hand. But if you prefer to use a utensil like the one I've described, then that's absolutely fine. Quite often intend to just do it by hand. Obviously you create a better emulsion if you do it with a higher speed. But if you need something more like liquidish to coat a silicone mold, maybe to make an entremet, then you will make sure that all gets nicely incorporated. And then you stop here. But if you want to get more like a firm consistency, then you add a little bit more friction and you get your ganache, your mousse ready to be piped. So just going to place this on one side. Just keep folding in so that I can make sure everything is nicely incorporated. You put this on the side, and instead of a hand blender, sorry, my hand is slippery and it just doesn't allow me to insert my hand mixer. Cable seems to be a little bit too short, but just enough for me to use it. And I'm only going to use one whisk because I don't want to put too much of a movement. I don't want to make it so firm. So I'm just going to help this to get into a nice smooth emulsion. So if I would like to pour this and to coat silicone mold, that's going to be the stage I would like to stop at. If I would like to pipe, then I will get to my second whisk, just to show you that's the consistency I want to get for floating a silicone tray. When you make entremets, you need a soft mousse, which is going to get firm in the fridge, in the freezer. Obviously for piping, I need to aerate, so I have to incorporate a little bit more air. And I'm going to stop here because now I've got the body I want for my mousse. It's not going to be piped, it will go in layers, in between the layers. So I want it to be a little bit firmer, but not too firm. So that's just the right consistency for me. Okay. So my quick mousse is now ready to be spread on in between the layers.